Humans versus AI. Who's gonna make the best pumpkin?
The rules are we have 12 hours to finish, I can't help AI and AI can't help me. I have to shop for the pumpkin, design the pumpkin, carve the pumpkin. And for AI we've got to design the pumpkin, convert that to a 3D model and then 3D print the pumpkin. Straight to shopping. This was the biggest pumpkin I could find, grab some snacks for this carving and some more snacks. Who in their right mind would carve any of these? This is just ridiculous, no one would ever buy.
Mate, are you joking?
Mate, I've just driven 40 minutes for that.
Mate, it's perfect.
What do you mean it's perfect?
You gonna swap?
Probably not. Nah.
Right.
This is the first ever time in my life that I was attempting to sculpt a pumpkin, and I started to realise, without planning, this could be a disaster.
No, I got it, look. Mate, stick it in, you're pretty good at that.
Not really. No one's ever told me that. They always ask me if it's my first time. Keep it going, mate. Just
Bro, what are you doing? What?
see? Genius, mate.
And I started to think, why in the world did I invite this donkey?
You've got safety specs. Oh. No! What are you doing? Bro! What are you doing?
My lid. Okay.
Anyway, right, well, I'm going. I've got loads of pumpkin.
Is that it then? I have to clean this up? Well, yeah, most of it, yeah. See you later.
I had jumped way too far in the deep end. This design's meant to be an AI robot, and my eyes were open when I was drawing this. And now I'm left picking up the pieces. Thanks, mate, you stupid. How was I ever going to sculpt a pumpkin? I'd never done it before. Wait a minute. I remembered the internet exists, and we are back on track. But we're not going to go for this simple design. Oh no, straight in the deep end. What could go wrong? So we're going to start with a fresh piece of paper and a mood board. Gather some images so we can grab the bull by the horns.
I've got my inspiration on the screen. I know roughly what I'm doing. And now it's just up to me to make a design. I probably haven't drawn in like 5 years, 6 years, so I'm going to be so rusty.
So for the AI, they're going to do a spooky human and I'm going to do a scary AI robot. The vibe I want to go for is like AI is taking over the world, Terminator-esque. I want to get some human characteristics in there. I want the eyes to be different sizes. I don't want everything to be perfect and super futuristic. I took some inspiration from the Iron Giant's big clunky jaw. I added these antenna-like ears just to give it like a little bit more of a retro feel. The final step was to add some simple shading so I can see what bits I need to push back in my carving and what bits I want to bring to the front. Because if I carve too much off, I can't put it back. Now we have our design in place, let's see how long it takes AI to get it right. I started by telling it exactly what I'm doing. I'm 3D printing a pumpkin and using an AI 3D model generator. This was the first result. Now don't get me wrong, this looks insane, but it's not really a carved pumpkin. It looks like the face is sitting on top of the pumpkin, like it's added clay on the surface, not necessarily carved out. So I asked it to do just that.
Still having trouble. It's not giving me that realistic carved feeling. I wonder if this is something that it will just generally struggle with. You know, maybe I could work it out, I don't know.
So I asked it again, and again, and it just wasn't getting it. At least this one looks like it's on the surface, but it's flat. So I tried Google Gemini and just simplified my prompt to see what I would get, and there was a couple of good results, but fairly similar. So I went back to basics, but then when we tried to change it to a spooky human, it just back to square one. But then we had a breakthrough using the word hole. But the sides don't look carved like this. So I had a final idea to use the words scraping the surface away.
Bro, God, I hope we get close.
It looks like it's carved. No way. And then we asked for a scary version and got this.
Finally done! Woohoo! Oh yeah! This has taken way longer than I thought. I discovered this app, and it creates really high quality 3D meshes from just images.
Drop your image and start generating straight away. Link is in the description and it's completely free.
Had to wait a while, but check this out. This is insane. I have not done a single thing And this is the model. All I did was upload the image.
Wow! I then put the model in a slicer program that creates layers for 3D printing. I then realised that the top wouldn't work, so I had to cut it off. Then I ordered a nice colour from Amazon, and then it was straight to printing.
It's got a long way to go. So now it's time to start the carving, so let's go. Right, so I've made my design, I've pinned it up on a little coat stand there, got some pumpkin carving tools, so ready to start, finally. Woo. This is gonna get very messy.
First I had to take off the skin so we had something to work with and I could sketch the design.
Step one's complete, we've got a canvas.
I did a very light design and then started to take out the main parts of the face.
It's not really got anywhere yet. It's something.
Meanwhile, the 3D print is doing perfectly. I fired up another print and it was back to carving the main layers of the face. I then moved on to smaller level details. I started with the head, mainly the lines, then the angled nose, and then finally the antenna ears.
We're making some progress now.
I then had to shave down the eyes so they didn't look like they were bulging out their sockets and give them a pupil. And before we get to the finishing touches, let's just see how our print is doing.
Yeah, we don't have a print. Oh, no good.
To make accessories, I carved them out the back of the head. I started with the teeth, then the antennas, and then the wire that's meant to be sticking out of his forehead. Let's see how the next print is getting on.
Oh, yes!
I then had to gut the pumpkin fully so then I could light it from the back. A small detail, but one I wanted to include was the bolts on his teeth. Now let's see the final results.
Right, so let's talk about what happened. Even though AI can generate its designs almost instantly, it took so much longer than I thought to get the design that I needed. Now, don't get me wrong, the initial design looked amazing anyway, so I could have just printed that, but I really wanted to challenge it to see if I could get it to look like it was actually carved. Now, coming up with my design took about 45 minutes to an hour, so it was way quicker, completely unexpected. Converting our AI design to a 3D model was actually really simple. There was an hour queue, but without that, it probably would have took around 5 minutes. Carving, on the other hand, took me about 4 to 5 hours. It was a lot of fun, very challenging, and I didn't quite get it to the level I wanted to, but I think I'd have to carve a lot of pumpkins before I got it to the point that I was happy with. Whereas the 3D version is way more refined and has more small details. Although when you light the pumpkin up, you get more depth because the thickness of the pumpkin, you have more to carve into and create different shades of light. With the 3D printed version, it's all the same thickness, so it looks much flatter. So who won the battle? The carving took me less than 12 hours and I had no help from AI. Whereas AI, on the other hand, had a lot of help from me and it took way longer than 12 hours. For this battle, I'm going to give it to the AI pumpkin. Now, the reason I'm giving it to the AI pumpkin is I think you can refine the printing details and get it to the point where you don't have any failures, and you can also replicate it so you can have as many as you want, whereas the pumpkin does go mouldy. So if you want a decoration that lasts longer, the 3D print is probably the way to go. Just don't put any candles in it though, because I tried that and the lid started burning, so use a lamp. Technically, the carving did win though, because it abided by the rules, even though I think the AI version overall looked better. I also asked ChatGPT who won the battle.
And it seems to be bigging itself up. Pause this if you want to take a look.
So, who do you think won the battle? Is it the human version or the AI version? Does this have more soul, maybe rough around the edges, but definitely more heart, whereas this is just AI slop, even though it's more detailed and it is more refined? Or do you think differently? Let me know in the comments. Please consider subscribing. Until next time.